I think one consequence of this is that a lot of people will retreat even further into self-censorship. The New York Daily News won't even show, dishonors the dead in Paris by not even showing properly the cartoons. They pixelated Mohammed out of it, so it looks like Mohammed has entered the witness protection program.
The attack on the offices of Charlie Hebdo in Paris was undoubtedly aimed at the media. Radicals took exception to insulting cartoons of their prophet. Those cartoons are the integral part of this story, and thus need to be shown and discussed. Yet already some major media players have decided they would rather bow to terrorism than do their job. And some have even decided to change the facts in order to seem less slanted against Islam. Welcome back to MidPoint. TV columnist and commentator for the website Mediaite, Joe Concha. Joe, pleasure to see you again.
Ed, good to see you.
Joe, this is disturbing on so many levels. The New York Times prints a story from Liz Alderman called "Survivors Retrace a Scene of Horror at Charlie Hebdo." There were 2 paragraphs in it. The first one talked about a freelancer, says basically she was told by one of the terrorists, "I'm not going to kill you because you're a woman. We don't kill women, but you must convert to Islam, read the Quran, and cover yourself." That is what was reported the very first time the story came out. Then the story comes out again, redacted and changed by the New York Times, where they took out any mention of Islam, the Quran, or telling the woman to cover her face. Joe, this is a win by the terrorists when the media starts changing the story to fit a narrative.
Ed, you used win in the singular, and you're correct, but it's actually in the plural when you think about it. The media here in America showed that attack over and over again, the gunman outside firing at police. Those images are a win for the terrorists because it spreads fear. Their message gets out. And then, to your point, the American media, on top of that, also decides that they will not show the cartoon. They either cropped an image of the now late editor of Charlie Hebdo and not to show the Muhammad cartoon, or as you said, the New York Daily News.
And we're seeing those cartoons right now, by the way, Joe. As you're speaking, we're seeing those front pages and those cartoons right now.
Oh, you are? Okay. I can't see the screen, so I appreciate that. And Newsmax is doing it. Mediaite, my publication. We're not going to capitulate in this situation. We have it up on our site as well. So it's a win-win for terrorists, no question. And in general, think about the last month, Ed. Think about Sony Pictures relenting to threats from the North Korea Geek Squad saying, yeah, we hacked you and now we're going to start bombing theaters in America. And then they, okay, we're going to pull the movie. Again, surrendering. The French, ironically enough, Ed, they're the ones standing up here, particularly the editors of this magazine, the ones that survived. It says, we're going to publish next week. We are not going to bow down. And meanwhile, the Americans, who are supposed to be the strong ones, if World War II is any indication, we're always supposed to be teaching the French how to be strong. We're the ones that are relenting at this point and capitulating. And it's embarrassing as a media member, Ed, no question.
90 seconds to go here. CNN has also said that they will not show any of these pictures. They pulled them off the air. Simple question then, Joe. When did the American broadcast media, supposedly champions of journalism, become such a bunch of cowards?
That troubled me, the statement by Jeff Zucker, Ed. He said that it was being done as a manager, in other words, managing people at Time Warner Center in New York, saying that, well, we need to protect them and safety comes first over freedom of expression. And again, that is a victory for terrorists, particularly CNN, an international organization. And then just one quick story, and I know we're short on time. I have a column up on Mediaite today about a Saudi blogger, 30-year-old kid, who spoke out, and not in the most aggressive way in the world, on a blog against the Saudi government and historical figures within Saudi Arabia. He will now be flogged 1,000 times, 50 times over 20 weeks, simply for posting on a blog some comments that were critical of the government. So freedom of expression is under attack everywhere, Ed. Saudi Arabia, right here in America, if Sony Pictures is any indication, and Paris as well. And if we're going to take any stand, we have to do it now. We have to show images of the Prophet Muhammad, even if they are offensive, because it's freedom of expression first, safety second. That's the bottom line, Ed.
It is what I was taught by my first news director in radio. He says you're a journalist first and a citizen second. And if you don't understand that, then get the hell out of the business, is exactly what he said to me.
Well said.
We're going to find out what happens from here on out. Joe, always a pleasure, my friend. Keep up the good work on Mediaite. We'll talk to you again very soon.
Thanks, Ed. Have a good weekend.
You too. We will continue to follow the story because in case you are just joining us, in case you are not aware, The two individuals that have been hunted by police in Paris and in France are dead. So is an individual at a market in Paris after the police took action there as well. We are following the story. More to come here on the show that questions everything. This is MidPoint.